Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to our YouTube channel. This video will be a review on Google Gemini Advanced. I'll be covering some Gemini Advanced and key concepts, some of the current significant account access limitations, the initial user interface impressions, and more. So without much further ado, let's get right into the video. There's been tons of anticipation building up around Gemini ever since it was first teased as a next-gen competitor to ChatGPT. And now that it's finally released in public beta, I want to take an extensive look to see if it stands up to all of the hype or not. And at a high level, Gemini refers to Google's internal large language model that serves as the AI brainpower behind their various conversational applications. It's essentially Bard, but as a brand, Bard is already dead. So instead, Google decided to just call their main chatbot system Gemini moving forward, and that's what we now have access to. Specifically, there are two main variants of Gemini that people reference. We've got Gemini Pro, which is a free base version that anyone can use as it taps into an older LLM architecture. And in the past, Google provided APIs for Gemini Pro to integrate it into some of their products behind the scenes in a limited capacity to enhance language understanding. Think of it as pretty much GPT-3. And then we've got Gemini Advanced, and this pay tier is built on top of their newest and most capable network known as Gemini Ultra 1. By leveraging Ultra, you unlock way more parameters and data, which equates to better outputs for things like complex reasoning, critical thinking, creativity, and more. So Gemini Advanced runs on Ultra the same way ChatGPT Plus showcases GPT-4. But despite having Ultra at its disposal, does Gemini Advanced actually live up to expectations? And that leads me to the significant account access limitations. Before testing much, I immediately ran into my first roadblock. Google still has not enabled proper access for Gemini Advanced across all of the account types. And testing on different accounts, sometimes I would try upgrading my account to gain entry into Gemini Advanced, and then I would receive a message saying, sorry, Gemini Advanced is not available for you. And turns out that Google has only opened up access for personal consumer Gmail accounts at launch. So there is still no support for professional managed Google Workspace, which is super frustrating, especially if you have a team that you're working with and you would need access across all of their emails or accounts. So in my opinion, this is definitely an early misstep on Google's part for not enabling business integration, but they are likely to fix this as soon as possible. And with that out of the way, let's start assessing what is actually currently available even within its limited access. So upon first impression, when creating an account and accessing Gemini, the actual chat UI itself looks crisp, clean, and aesthetically pleasing. It has the familiar sidebar for inputs on the left, with responses being dynamically generated on the right. Now, one nice touch is showing previews of attached images in line before actually sending it. And within settings, you can toggle specific data sharing and privacy options. At launch, there doesn't appear to be too much customization, although that may change later. And out of the box, it allows toggling between Gemini Pro versus Gemini Advanced views without disrupting your chat. And I really appreciate having the dual environments coexisting within one dashboard, since this lets you immediately assess differences in quality and performance. Overall, the UX is smooth and friendly for beginners, especially casual consumers, but light on controls for power users, at least for now. Moving on, we're going to talk about the prompt engineering challenges, and as an early evaluation, I started with what should be a softball question to any AI agent. I asked Gemini Pro, what are your current features and capabilities? And the answer was actually very general and not what I had expected. It said, I'm Gemini, the best way to directly access Google AI. I'm trained on large amounts of publicly available data, and I can communicate and generate human-like text in response to a wide range of questions, blah blah. So I'd normally expect it to delve deeper into the capabilities and give me some specific kind of details or features, but maybe the prompt would have to be tweaked a little bit more. But after that, I asked it what differences are there between this Gemini version and Gemini Advanced, and the response is actually pretty shocking. It gave me precise details about every little aspect that I would consider. So starting with the publicly available data today, and then conducting a thorough comparison between Gemini Pro and the advanced version, and surprisingly, it gave me so much more capabilities and features about the free version than when I asked it specifically about it in the previous prompt. Moving on, I wanted to experiment more into functional assessments like its ability to write code algorithms. So my next prompt was basically asking Gemini Pro to generate a Python script that essentially would build a simple calculator application. And in my opinion, Gemini Pro, even the free version, performed this task extremely well. It very quickly outputted what looked like valid Python containing variables, function definitions, and conditional logic without any tweaking needed from me. All of the core components were generated properly in one shot and using the free version. So at least based on this programming example, Gemini Pro appears more adept out of the box. And that's likely because Google has so much existing Python data that it can train on derived from all the internal software products, which is honestly pretty impressive display of proficiency that surpassed my expectations. Another area I wanted to inspect was Gemini's embedded vision and image comprehension skills, so I uploaded a random picture that I had saved, and then asked Gemini some basic questions based on it. For example, I asked it to identify the kind of text on the image and then to write it out for me, and it did a pretty good job at it. The text recital was perfect. However, when I did ask it to describe the image, it said that it currently does not have the capability to access and describe images. So I guess that's one of the shortcomings that you can expect from the free version of Gemini. So in Google's defense, I'm sure that Gemini vision will incrementally improve over time, much like DALL-E image generation did, but today it still seems partially blinded in situations where context in images really matters. And finally, I want to shed the light on the pricing details for Gemini Advanced. And this would be for unlocking the full potential of Gemini via live chat search, translations, and enhanced site integrations. And as of right now, at launch, this is priced at a flat rate of $19.99 per month, billed automatically by Google once your initial 2-month free trial expires. And unfortunately, as of right now, Gemini Advanced does not support yearly or long-term subscriptions, so the only current options are the completely free versus a monthly recurring charge. But in my opinion, fairly straightforward value exchange of $20 per month once the intro period wraps up is still a decent offer, as you would have the generous 2-month free trial to test out the platform with its entirety of features and capabilities. And that will be all in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this Gemini review. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you found today's video to be helpful or informative to watch, then give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any follow-up content that we can make related to this one.